was it like playing Ronald Reagan?
Um, it was the most challenging role that I've ever had, and it has since, after completion, it's my favorite movie now of my career. It replaced The Right Stuff, which stood at the top for 40 years. So that says something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there's so much portrayed of Reagan's deep-rooted faith in God in this movie.
Mm.
How important was that you made sure that came through?
Well, you can't play Ronald Reagan without including that very important element of his personality and of who he was. That's something that was deep rooted going back as a child in Dixon,
Mm,
Illinois, and grew throughout his life, and even affected the way he governed. He governed by principles. He
yeah.
was a Democrat before he was a Republican. And those principles, which are Christian principles, really, American principles, when they wrote the Constitution, they were including the Bible in there, along with the Magna Carta and everything. But which
Yes.
had to do with faith, and governed by those principles, it goes beyond political parties. It when you get down to those decisions, which are like, is it the lady or the tiger, or an impossible decision, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Mm,
In the present time, it's those principles that in the long run will lead you to make the right choice.
right, right. Dennis, it's interesting because I know this was not planned this way, but Reagan is kind of coming out right before an important election,
Mhm.
leading into into America and the next president of the United States, which will be a new president of the United States. How important kind of is it that this film, God kind of ordained that, I guess, but that being played right now in those principles kind of be reminded to our nation.
Well, it must be a God thing, I guess, because one of the things that I really insisted upon was that it not come out in an election year because I didn't want it to be construed politically or anything like that. And because to me, the movie is not political. It's about it's American. It's about
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan. But then
Yes.
it's we made it in 2020 during COVID, and it's been 4 years trying to get this together, and we wanted it to come out long ago, but here it is. There's such great interest in it at the same time now. So it just goes to show that, what do I know?
Mm, mm.
It turns out to be actually maybe the perfect time for it to come out.
Very much so. And it's such a great movie, such a great reminder of everything that you guys encompassed in this. All right, last question on this. When you were playing this role and studying for the role, what was something that stood out to you that you did not know about Ronald Reagan that you're like, wow?
So Ronald Reagan, the great communicator, had this, that people who were acquainted with him and were close to him, in fact, said you go so far, there'd be an impenetrable wall there as far as the man and getting to know him. And there was a very private space that I think he needed, in the swirl of the storm. That had
Mm-hmm.
probably been there since childhood as well. And I think he reserved that for his God and for those that he was, like Nancy and his mother, that he could let vulnerability come out, and his heart, his deepest heart. And
Yeah.
he didn't just show that to everybody, but it was
Mm.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. The film is excellent. Go see Reagan. You will not be disappointed, and it will warm your heart. The closing scene is all I gotta say it got me. So
Oh,
well done,
thank you.
Dennis, and
You
thank you
bet.
for making this film.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.